from Life and Layouts, and today I'm back slaying snow and cocoa. I have a ton of scraps right now, and so I pulled out this sketch from Scrapbook Generations because it allows you to use lots and lots of strips. And because of all the scraps that I have, I wanted to get some of them used up before I continue along with the photos and moving towards getting them done. I'm so excited. I decided that I was going to pull back out some birthday photos to use with this paper line. And I changed the sketch up a little bit. What I did for the right side, and that's what I'm doing right now, is I just cut down the photos as much as I could. Like I cut out all of the dead space, and there's no measurements to this. It's just what fit for those pictures. So there's 4 pictures there, and that's going to be on the right hand side of the layout. And then what I decided to do was I had a few more photos and I added them to the left hand side of the layout. There are 2 photos that I'm going to cut down to make them 6 inches, and I didn't cut them 3 by 4 because, again, I was just using the photos and the dead space that was there to cut out what I needed to. So I think that the one on the bottom is a little bit bigger than the one on the top, but it was just because there was more of a close-up in that photo on the bottom. So actually that photo on the bottom is of me and my best friend, and that is the album that I'm doing is for her and her children. And so I love that I was able to get her in this Slayin snow and cocoa as well, because there's a lot of pictures of the kids and activities that they're doing, but not so many of her. And then I don't think there's a whole lot of photos at all of just the 2 of us. This is where I pulled out all my scraps that were 2 inches wide or smaller. And what I'm going to end up doing is, after I add the adhesive, I put all of the photos down, and then I cut the strips in half. It doesn't matter the length of the strips because they're going to be behind the photos anyway. So you'll see here that I'll tuck this one in underneath the photo. And I actually tend to lay it down, and then I don't have adhesive on the top and the bottom. So you can see here where I just tucked it in. Some of the papers I left the branding strips on to add some dimension to that as well. On the paper on the left-hand side of the layout, I decided to leave a couple of those without banners. They are just straight, and it does call for that in the sketch. So I really like the way that that came out. I have photos that I'm going to add to an insert in the center. So I could have added more photos here, but I didn't have, I had 4 additional photos. So I had too many photos to be able to add them in this space right here, and decided that I would go ahead and do the insert. So I added this present, the blue stripe present, and then the word yay. And then I ended up adding this 3x4 card on the right hand side of the photo, and it says birthday. And I'm going to actually, and this will be off screen, but I'm going to add the number 9 because this was her 9th birthday. And then I've just added the year 2013. And then I left the other 2, the favorites and recorded by, blank so that either Anna or her daughter can add details into that. The card wasn't as big as the photo, so I just used a frame underneath it and then a little tiny strip on the far right hand side to make a center piece go all the way across. Next to that word yay, I'm going to add a little tag that says "a little party never hurt nobody," and I really like the way that that all kind of pulls together. So I have some photos, and then I have some embellishments or some ephemera, and it just flows really well across the layout. This is where I start to pull in the papers for the left-hand side. And like I said, all I did was made sure that they were at least 2 inches. And the reason I did that was because my banner punch only cuts the width of 2 inches. So, or below. It cuts like 1 inch to 1.5, I think down to 1/2 inch. So I didn't want any layers bigger than that. I did make the layers, some of them wider, that I didn't cut down, like that pink one on the far right hand side. This is where I decided that I needed a couple more thinner layers, so I'm adding that back to the left hand side of the layout. And I have everything down now, and this is the base of my page. I love the way that this came out because it gives so much fun interest to a birthday party, and I think that's what this is really all about. The blue tag that I cut off that says "a little party never hurt nobody," the top part of that tag I tucked under with another top part of a tag that I used behind the photo there of her and her dad. And then I used pop dots on this balloon, but put the string down with liquid adhesive on the photo. And I'm just going to use my acrylic block to hold that down. That banner on the far right hand side says "happiest of birthdays to you." And then I added a little party hat right on top of it. I don't do a whole lot of embellishment because there's so much going on with the banners and the pieces that are behind the photos. I really just concentrate right there on that photo on the far right, because that's a single photo of her, and I really liked it's a good shot of her, so that I wanted to add some additional embellishments over there and kind of make that photo stand out a little bit. And then on the left hand side, I wanted to just add a couple more things around with that present and the word yay. So after I put these silver hearts on those tags, I'm going to add this sticker that says party on it. And then I really like this little cute bear. I tried to use him in the sticker format. He was just way too big. So then I pulled out a couple other things, but finally I do end up realizing that I have him on a puffy sticker, and I'm able to use him over there as well. I take this present and I'm going to cut a piece of it down and add part of it to the top here, and then the rest of it to the bottom right hand side of the layout. And then I added also a small pink present with pop dots and a little silver star. So my camera does cut off, and I don't have me putting together the 4x6 card that is actually the title of this, which is Celebrate, but I have lots of photos for you guys at the end that shows the close-ups of this. I wanted to showcase this layout, especially if you have lots and lots of photos. I'm a big believer in putting the main photos down on your layout and then adding some additional ones in the pocket pages. I personally like the 6x12 because I feel like it shows you the fact that the layouts are still together without covering up the entire layout. And Hobby Lobby has both sizes that are the 3 4x6s, so you get 3 4x6s in there, as well as one that has 2 4x6s and 2 3x4s, so you can get additional photos in there as well. So here's my final layout, as well as some close-ups. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layouts, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because that's all you're going to get on my channel. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.